Shah Alam Gate, more casually known as Shah Almi Gate, has some of the biggest wholesale markets of Lahore. And here you will find many delightful things, old artifacts, fancy jewelry, crockery. Even I found myself very tempted by some beautiful ceramics from nearby China, and even came across the most marvelous find, an antique ice cream maker.
So I'm standing here at the Shah Almi Gate, and sadly, like many of the gates that we've gone to have been incredibly impressive, like Lahore Gate and some of the other Delhi gates, but sadly this gate is no longer. It's been completely demolished. Shah Alam was actually the son of Aurangzeb. So if you remember who Aurangzeb was, I hope you do, he was the man who erected the beautiful, impressive Bazar Mosque. And if you look at it now, there is no gate at all, but there's a very wide street, which we didn't see in any of the other gates. And that's because in 1947, this gate actually burned to the ground during partition. And now it's been repaved, and it's one of the most famous, most massive markets for having the great versatility of things. So we've been to all kinds of markets, gemstone markets, bird markets, but this market is a lot like TK Maxx. It has absolutely everything from toys, ceramics, clothes, you name it. You can definitely get it here in the Shah Alam Gate, otherwise known as Shah Almi.
Majid Moran Maharaja Ranjit Singh built this mosque in 1824, which was actually called Masjid-e-Tawafan, which in Urdu means dancing girl.
So I am now standing here in front of what I think is a really beautiful, romantic mosque, because this mosque is called Moran Tawif. And this was the mosque that was actually made for Ranjit Singh for his favorite dancing girl before it became converted into a mosque. And it was really sweet because he had the mosque painted for his favorite dancing girl, who was Moor Tawif. And he had it painted in this red, bright red, which is a symbol of love and passion, mixed with the value and importance of God, of Allah, and of religion. So your love and your passion would not be distinct from your love for God. And therefore, he made this beautiful, just like the Taj Mahal or some of these amazing things that men make for women that they love. And here he painted that red, and now today, this was in the 19th century, and today it's now a pale pink because it is obviously faded over time, just like love fades over time. Unfortunately, it's closed today, so we won't be able to go in.
Shah Alam Market has been a thriving center of commerce for centuries, and there are thousands of shops in this market.
Look at all these gold lamps. Wow. Look at these vases and lamps. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, those are really pretty. It's really pretty. That's gorgeous. Look at that. I love it. But I love these lamps. Look at the crystals. That must be so pretty when you light that. Kitni rupee?
65 by here.
So how long have you been doing trade with China?
Yeah, China trade.
How many years have you been trading with China?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
So Pakistan-Chinese relations have been developing over time. And this is 15,000. And what is this made? It's just glass?
Yeah, glass.
But how is it made to look Moroccan? Like it looks like it's from Turkey or Morocco?
Yeah, same.
So the Chinese basically make all this stuff to look like you bought that in Morocco. And what's your best price you'll give me on that?
Fixed price.
15,000. You won't go down? Well, I don't shop at places that don't go down. That takes
My
all the
price
fun out of
fixed.
it. My favorite thing is haggling. Okay, shukriya, thank you. I'll see you in a bit. Oh my God, this is so dangerous. I'm supposed to be shooting film and I'm shopping. Thank you. It isn't just all of the demolished gates and things that are left over from English colonialism in this country, but you also find loads of beautiful things that the English left behind. And most of these, English sewing machine, most of these are left over. These are literally like antiques. These are all left over from the English colonials when their wives were here, or when they'd bring their chambermaids to help make fresh clothes out of all the beautiful fabrics that they would find here in the walled city, all the silks, all the satins, all the beautiful fabrics you could find. And then they would have their clothes made to fit just here with these machines. It's really incredible little piece of history. Everybody's really friendly and warm, but every once in a while you get that look like, who the heck are you? And what are you doing here? Look at this, how cute. Like I said, this is TK Maxx of the walled city. Look at all these kids' toys. This is where you finish your own shopping and then your kids rope you in first off. And every parent gets roped in. What is that? What is a gola machine? Kya ye?
4,000.
What does it make? What does it do?
Ice scratcher. Ice scratcher.
Oh my goodness gracious. I cannot believe it. Of all the things, you have to guess what this is. But it's an ice crusher. And in a country that gets very hot, having ice is an amazing luxury. And this is where I guess you would take a slab of ice, crush it, and then share it among everyone. So this would be very expensive. Kitni rupee?
Just table. You need to just table.
And then you put in like a piece of ice? Ah, and then you make drinks? Ice cream?
Ice cream.
You make ice cream with that. Come on, I mean, that's incredible. I love that. That is so cool. How old would this be?
4,000 price. Ice cream maker.
So this is an ice cream machine underneath. I told you this is TK Maxx. An ice cream machine and an ice crusher. Talk about making really good old-fashioned homemade ice cream. Believe me, in the summer, that's something you really, really would want to have. Thank you so much. That is so cool. I'm now craving ice cream right now.
Mahal Chowk Well, I have to say, it took me a while to comprehend what a chowk is. Basically, it's a circular intersection, and Rang Mahal Chowk is one of the biggest of these in all of the walled city.
Standing here at the very end of the Shah Alam Gate is the Chowk, which is the Mahal Chowk. And in the times of Shah Jahangir, this was ruled by a governor who had been a slave from the country of Georgia, who built this impressive Havali. Malik Ayaz had been a slave from Georgia, so he was commissioned to basically burn down the entire city of Lahore so that it could be rebuilt and reconstructed. Interesting, Malik Ayaz became the very first governor of Lahore. He was the very first Muslim ruler of the city of Lahore altogether, and he came from the most humble backgrounds because he had actually been a slave. And he was at the very tender age of 12 to 14, he moved up to become a governor, and then he was commissioned to burn Lahore down to ashes. And his tomb now was resting here until the Sikh invasion, and the Sikhs came and invaded, and they took his tomb.
Sarafa Bazar is a stunningly beautiful gold market, also known as SUNEHR Bazar. This is the largest gold market in all of Lahore, and even I was tempted to become a Pakistani bride just looking at the beautiful bridal necklaces.
Gosh, look at all this shiny, sparkly gold. It's beautiful. So here in the Sarafa, known as the SUNEHR market, this is the largest gold market in all of Lahore. And it is right up there with anything you'd see in the souks of Dubai. There's like 500 shops of gold. So the SUNEHR, this is where you go if you need to make up with your partner, or you need a special birthday treat. I recommend you come to the SUNEHR Bazar to get your gold. Look at that, that is magnificent. I mean, this is something I would picture. Look, with the choker and the long necklace, the huge earrings. This is very much how a Western woman pictures an Eastern woman, just dripping in jewelry, like Noor Jahan when she sang, or the Mughals, or all the beautiful dancing girls. As a Westerner, I've really gotten into wearing more ethnic jewelry and more local jewelry, and I find it so beautiful. It's just opened up a whole world to me as far as fashion goes.
KINAARI Bazar, before partition, most of the shops were owned by Hindus or Sikhs. But after partition, most of them migrated back to India. KINAARI Bazar is famous for its embroidered cloths.
Look at, these are dishes for desi, Pakistani food, aren't they? It's for, oh, that would be really fun to buy this stuff. Oh, he's got a museum upstairs.
Let's come.
Yeah, no, I can't right now because I've got to go to the mosque. Look at these antiques. Oh, I love that.
Let's come in.
No, I can't right now because I'm going to do the mosque, a story on the mosque, but I can come back.
These historical things.
I can come back to it. Thank you. tea, anyone? Can I pour you a cup of tea? Wow. Is this for tea? What's it for? Chai? Chai? Wow, that's a big teapot.
SUNEHR Mosque was built in 1753 by Nawab Syed Bukhari Khan, the deputy governor of Lahore during the reign of Mughal Emperor Muhammad Shah.
So the Golden Mosque, I was just greeting some lovely sisters on my way in, very kind to say hello to me. The Golden Mosque was erected in 1753 during the Mughal Empire, which was commissioned by the governor of Lahore at that time under the Mughal Empire. And like so many things inside Shah Alam Gate, later was overtaken by the Sikhs. But now it's been reclaimed, refurbished, and redone, and we're in the middle of ablution. And it's got a beautiful pool of water for ablution, and it feels very, very tranquil, but you can certainly feel the age and the time. One of the most interesting aspects of the Golden Mosque, and you can see the minarets, why it's called the Golden Mosque, because these beautiful domes in gold, and they haven't turned to copper, they're still gold. I have no idea how that happened. Given the history of this structure, that those wouldn't have turned to copper and be green. But anyway, it's maintained, and probably the Muslims have taken very good care of this mosque and have kept that polished and shined, so it would remain gold as the Golden Mosque. But one of the aspects of this, despite the sort of Ottoman look of the facade of the Turkish tiles that you see that are hand painted, I don't want to get in the way of their prayers, is that there are chambers in the basement of this. And this is erected similar to Wazir Khan, but this is a far more modest, the Golden Mosque here in Shah Alam is far more modest than the Wazir Khan, which was an incredibly impressive, stunningly breathtaking structure. But very similar to it is that it's raised on a platform and built up on a platform, which is why I had to climb quite a serious set of stairs to get up here to it. But underneath, it serves this purpose because it has chambers underneath. And they're very intricate chambers. We're not allowed to go into those now, but those chambers were said to be used for all kinds of things, for the Mughals and the Sikhs to store armaments and prepare themselves for battle, and that's where they would store things. But now, if you take a look at its prayer, it's very much a place of peace.
Well, good evening once again,
Good evening.
Cameron. So nice to see you.
Great seeing you, Kirsten.
Thank you. So, Shah Alam Gate,
Yeah.
or Shalmi, as you were pronouncing it. This gate makes me want to shop.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's got a fantastic history of all kinds of things. Little boy emperors, burning down of a city twice. What makes this gate so?
This is a most fascinating market we call it in Asia. I mean, you can find all kinds of gadgets and electronics and utensils, crockery, jewelry. You talk about anything, and it's flooded and laden with all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't exactly like this in the past. You see, pre-partition, which is 1947, there were always lots of Hindus living here and lots of Sikhs. It was a very multicultural society. But then after the riots on both sides of the Punjab, the east and the west, so this place was, the gate was burnt down. And now there is no gate of the Shah Alami gate, as we call it.
Mm-hmm.
It derives its name from Shah Alam, who was the prince, the third son of Emperor Aurangzeb.
Aurangzeb.
the last Mughal emperor.
Because you have the gold market in there,
Business
so
going
that
on.
must
That's
be
right.
worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. So further up is this Suha,
pun.
or the jewelry market, and there's the Rang Mahal, which is the
Chowk. I was
the Chowk,
saying
that's
that it's taken me, as a Westerner, it's taken me a while to understand what a chalk is.
Yeah.
And even asking other people, since
Yeah.
they don't know what I don't know, the
Chowk,
explanation
you
is
would
not
say
very...
a crossing or a
I've said like a
or
round
square, or-
intersection.
that's right. And
But
so-
this one is the most impressive one because it's right at the Haveli.
yeah, the famous Mia,
gargantuous, the Mian Khan
that's
Haveli.
right, and then that
That is
school.
that. To look at that Haveli, it's almost like you could see a movie being
It's
shot
awesome.
there.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
It is, and now
Wait, you're going to start making money on Hollywood, Bollywood,
That's right.
Hollywood films.
absolutely.
I'm a filmmaker too. I always say this is going to be Pollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then there's another very famous milestone over there, the tomb of Malik Ayaz. You know,
The boy emperor, that's
the
what I
boy-
call him.
when
He
the-
must have been, what a character.
Mahmud Ghazni from Afghanistan, who conquered this subcontinent, this place, that happened in 1000 AD. And this young lad, Malik Ayaz, was a Georgian slave.
From the
who-
country Georgia.
Georgia. He rose up to a general's level, and as a young man became the general, and also was
Do
appointed.
you know Stalin was Georgian? I did Russian studies at Oxford. I should know a little bit. But that's amazing to
That's
think
right.
about.
So he became the
Georgia
first
being
governor,
yeah,
the
how
first
old
governor
Georgia
of
is.
Lahore.
For me, Shah Alami Gate seems like there's a lot of stories about the old Lahore, the actual
Yeah.
making of the city of Lahore.
That's
Yeah.
right. Absolutely, it is like that. So Shah Alami is full of action, full of business, and full of you can't take your car inside, and if you do, then
Good luck
it will
to
be the
you.
evening by the time you come back, and you have to have a guide to negotiate and move through the streets, those winding small little alleys, and
I think I have all new instincts from being in the walled city.
right.
I've completely all brushed up as a pedestrian.
Exactly. So people have basements. You enter a place, you wouldn't know whether it has a basement. There'll be 2 or 3 basements. There'll be some mezzanine or these rooftops. And so in a small little space, how they cram up their whole business.
Really?
And at times it
And
is...
that's because it's expensive, is
it's
that
so
the
expensive. And
Yeah.
then this business supplies to the whole of Pakistan, even Afghanistan, and other foreign countries.
reason? No, thank you once again.
Well, my
And I have to
pleasure.
say, we had a really beautiful moment weather-wise in there because it started raining and it was starting to get hot. You know, when I started this journey with you, we were wearing coats.
Yeah.
I even had fur and you know,
That's
it was
right.
cold, really cold.
Yeah.
Even our feet got cold, right? And our
That's right.
shoes. And now it's getting hot. But it started raining and there wasn't much we could do about that. So we just kept shooting in the rain and there were people around, they were being really
But you've
lovely.
been very persistent, and
We
I
stayed in the
admire your
rain.
perseverance.
Yeah.
Very good.
We
very good.
became like the locals. And then there was a little rainbow, and it was really quite pretty. And you have these moments in the walled city that are very
Yeah.
rustic, very real, where you really feel that. You feel the history of those people who lived here
Absolutely.
and that vibrance. It's lovely. Cameron Lashari, as
Okay,
usual.
such a pleasure.
It's a delight.
Bye-bye, Kirsten.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shah Alam, or Shah Alami Gate, is like many of the gates. Rich with history, it remains today, thriving, unperturbed by all of this violent history, and very, very much a medley of flavor and architecture that make up the pride that is today Pakistan.